All right, guys, back again. Let's look at this question now. Question 4. So you're given an equation there, which is not an equation, an expression, which is sine 2x multiplied by tan x minus 1. Now, this is an equation. I keep saying equation, but this is an expression that you're being asked to simplify. Now, to simplify an expression, it just simply means that we just have to change up our identities and try to get this to the simplest form possible. Now, everyone should know by now that tan x is equal to sine x over cos x. So if you don't know anything in that question, you should at least know that. And then sine 2x, this is something that you learn in grade 12, that this is the same as 2 sine x cos x. So you do learn this one in matric. So some of you maybe are not aware of it yet, depending on where you are in the year. But yeah, that would be 2 sine x cos x. Now, moving on and then trying to solve the question. Well, we're going to say 2 sine x cos x. Then you're going to multiply by, let's just remove this so that I have space. So 2 sine x cos x multiplied by sine x over cos x, and make sure, guys, that you don't forget that minus 1. So you're going to then say minus 1. Then from here, we can cancel cos x against cos x, and it's basically 2 sine x times sine x minus 1. So sine x times sine x is sine squared x. So then we're going to have 2 sine squared x minus 1. And you can see there that you actually do have a solution like that, which is C. All right, cool. Hope that makes sense. So the first few questions of an NBT are usually like, the ones that are not too hard. And then as it gets to the later questions, the levels increase, but you need to make sure that you're banking the marks on the best questions. All right, cool. Now let's move on into question 5. So here you're given sine squared x plus x, and they're saying this can be written as. So when we have sine squared x, guys, just know that the whole thing over there is squared. It's not just sine that is squared, but the x is squared too. So then in that situation, you would have to take this sine and put it in the same bracket. So that would mean then you can just say sine x, put the whole thing in the bracket, squared, and then you're going to say plus x. And there you have the solution at D. So your solution would be D. So yeah, that's pretty straightforward there. Okay, cool. And then let's move into the next question. Let's look at the next question. The next question is asking x minus 1 over y, all divided by x plus y. Okay, cool. So in this kind of questions, when you're dividing something that is a fraction by another fraction, then that tells us then that you need to be changing the division into a multiplication. So we can first, so instead of changing the division first, we can actually write these as a divide instead of writing it as an over. So we can actually say x minus 1 over y. Now remember that this whole thing is being divided by x over y. Hence, then it is important that you have these brackets because the whole thing is being divided. It's not just 1 over y, but it's the whole thing x minus y over 1 divided by x over y. All right. So the next step then would be to change the division into multiplication. So we can still keep x minus 1 over y. Make sure you keep your brackets. Then instead, now we're going to say multiplied by. Now when you change the division into multiplication, the numerator becomes the denominator. The denominator becomes numerator, as you can see over there. So then we multiply by y over x. All right. And then here you can see then that you're going to multiply. So y over x is going to multiply each of these separately. So first one being, so we're going to say y over x multiplied by x. So it's going to be xy over x. Because remember that this is basically just x over y. So y multiplies x, xy, x multiplied by 1, just x. Then we go in there. So y multiplied by -1, it is y and then x multiplied by 1, it would then be xy. All right, cool. So what do we then do from that point? Well, this x can cancel with this x, and then this y can cancel on with this y. And so then what you're left with is then basically y minus 1 over x. Can we simplify it further? We already got the answer there. We actually do have the answer there already, and that answer would be A. Hope that makes sense. And tune in again for the other questions as we go through this together. Cheers, guys. See you in a minute. Cheers.